Chapter 10, what are we really dealing with here? Are we going to end up with one of these four scenarios: hyperinflation, stagflation, deflation, or depression? Each of these has a possibility, and each of them it will cause us to protect our assets in different ways. And so in this chapter, we'll talk about the likelihood of one of these things happening and what we do about it to protect our families. Chapter number 11 is dealing with the construction world, the builder. How does a builder compete in a market where we are now buying properties on a regular basis at half of their replacement cost? It also is going to bring up the potential for controlling building lots during the cycle. There's going to be a lot of builders go broke, a lot of developers go broke. A lot of lenders are going to take back projects they do not want. And if we can find a way to buy those lots, just one purchase of a project like that could make you fabulously wealthy, because I would bet that there'll be a day where we have to build another new house in California. Chapter number 12 talks about the future of interest rates and affordability. Right now we have record low interest rates. I suspect we'll probably have those rates for at least a year, maybe two. That's not what concerns me. What concerns me is what happens after that. We're going to have a very easy time with the interest rates as they are for the next 24 months. If someone will loan us money, the investors will load up on homes, and that'll be tremendous. But it's what's next that's going to be a problem. I fully expect that in this chapter we'll discuss the likelihood of interest rates going to double digits and what that'll do to the affordability rate. Will homes be affordable? Will we be able to have a price increase in the future? Chapter 13 will be dealing with this subject of foreclosures. 2008 set an all-time record for foreclosures. I would say 2009 has a good chance to dwarf 2008. And that seems to be a ridiculous statement when you look at the chart. But in talking recently to a large REO agent, he said that lenders have been artificially holding back inventory, and that he was told that one particular lender in February is going to just unload 3,500 houses into the market. You multiply that times as many lenders as have problems in California, and California is going to be in for an awful lot of foreclosures. How does that affect the investor and what we do, and how will it affect the prices that come out in 2009 and 2010? Chapter 14 deals with employment, or maybe I should say unemployment, in the state of California. Before we reach bottom, California will probably reach something in the range of a 12 or 13% unemployment rate. And that'll have a lot of dominoes attached to it. A lot less dollars going into state coffers for taxes. A lot of people leaving the state. So this chapter talks about those ramifications and also talks about how we end up getting that solved. The 15th chapter is migration trends for California. We've gotten two different set of statistics, one from the IRS, the other from the state of California. They both tell a similar story, but they're both different in some ways, and we'll talk about why the differences exist. But what's going to happen to migration in the next couple years will not be very pleasant for California. And having a 13% unemployment rate will certainly exacerbate what we would have had happen. So we're going to have a lot of people leave California. Those people would have rented homes or maybe purchased some. Now they'll be looking for work. So we're in for a couple years of migration trends that will be very negative. How do we deal with that as investors will be the topic of this chapter. Chapter 16, The Hundredaire Next Door. We all probably have heard of the book, The Millionaire Next Door. Well, I have a feeling that we're probably going to be living next to a hundredaire. The baby boom generation is just about getting to the age where we're going to retire. What is the financial status of that generation? We've had booms of all kinds, several stock booms, several real estate booms. They all should be very wealthy. Turns out that they're not. Turns out that 40% of their net worth is the future value of Social Security benefits. And that's a pretty scary thought. So we're going to take a look at this group of people, and really for the purpose of saying, okay, For our family, it's solvable, and this is what we should do. So I think we get into the protection mode and we make sure that our family is okay despite what's going to happen. One of the saddest things is that there's going to be a pretty high percentage of that retired group living in poverty before they're retired 5 or 10 years. And I think that's a shame. Chapter 17 will go over the price declines for 20 properties. We appraised these first, I believe, in 2005, followed it up with appraisals in a couple years after that. We made those appraisals current. One of the reasons we did this is because when you deal with median price can get artificially swayed if you're selling only smaller homes, or you're selling only homes where financing is available, or you're selling predominantly REOs. So this is actually appraising a property over and over again. We had 20 properties scattered in Southern California, and we decided to reappraise those so we could see specific price damage in those areas. The next chapter is the beefiest one that we've ever had in any report, and without the help of some very special people that we'll introduce you to, this would not have happened. What we've been able to do is take dozens and dozens of properties that were appraised and then figure out what percentage of the surrounding properties that are similar are over encumbered. So you'll be getting stats that says this type of property in many, many dozens of areas is worth this much. We then have a chart to show you how many properties are over encumbered that are similar. And why that's important is because CoreLogic has said that when an area is underwater by maybe 30%, the likelihood of foreclosures go up by a multiple of 15. We have some areas in this report where you'll see that 60% of the inventory is over encumbered. Well, that's the kind of area as an investor I can see that price hits are still going to be coming. It might not be an area that we can buy and sell in, but it sure might be in an area where we can take advantage of cash flow properties. But you can see that's going to be a very devastated area. In addition to that, what this company that did all this research for us did was also do rents for us. So projected rents, the rent survey covers 2 and 3 4-bedroom, and also the direction is the area going up or down. And to us that are going to hold properties, it's very important for this information. This chapter is just amazing. I'm excited. By the way, table of contents certainly doesn't do this report justice. There are so many fantastic charts and new charts that no one's ever seen. So this is a great chapter, and I'm excited about the information. This would have cost us thousands of dollars if somebody didn't cooperate and want their information to be in this report. So I'm very excited to have that as a chapter. Chapter 19, boom then bust in commercial real estate. We're about to witness the greatest decline in commercial real estate in history. And I know we've had some serious ones before. I have a feeling that this one is going to make them all pale in comparison. The retail business is going to be taking a tremendous hit. And what's interesting, we just get done with this report, and then already you have another major retailer drop a bomb of saying, okay, we're out. So this is going to happen. We're 2 weeks away from a live event. I think there's going to be more and more information as we get closer to the event that this has happened even more. So commercial real estate is a subject that I'm interested in because, as you know, a lot of you know, I auctioned off my commercial building probably about a year to 18 months ago for the purpose of stealing a commercial building, and that's fully in my intent. I expect commercial real estate in Southern California will sell for dirt value at the bottom. And it might be a tremendous thing to learn a little bit about commercial real estate, how it's priced, how it's valued, and how to get access to money that will be able to purchase commercial real estate in this down cycle.